Hey y'all, hey. Hey y'all, hey. Happy Bible Talk Thursday. Hey y'all. So I'm excited. I got a new phone. So the storage is low on this one. So let's run it up. Um, but anyway, I prayed over my word and I opened it to Daniel 3, which is a familiar passage. I have read this at least 3 times already, but this time I feel like I'm going to get something different. So we're going to get into it because it is pretty long. And it's titled The Image of Gold in the Blazing Furnace. Alright, so it says King Nebuchadnezzar made an image of gold 60 cubits high and 6 cubits wide, and set it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. He then summoned the satraps, prefects, governors, advisors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and all the other provincial officials to come to the dedication of the image he had set up. So the satraps, prefects, governors, advisors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and all other provincial officials assembled for the dedication of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up, and they stood before it. Then the herald loudly proclaimed, nations and people of every language, this is what you are commanded to do. As soon as you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music, you must fall down and worship the image of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Whoever does not fall down and worship will immediately be thrown into the blazing furnace. Therefore, as soon as they heard the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, and all kinds of music, all the nations and people in every language fell down and worshipped the image of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. At this time, some astrologers came forward and denounced the Jews. They said to King Nebuchadnezzar, "May the king live forever. Your Majesty has issued a decree that everyone who hears the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music must fall down and worship the image of gold, and that whoever does not fall down and worship will be thrown into the blazing furnace. But there are some Jews whom you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, who pay no attention to you, your Majesty. They neither serve your gods nor worship the image of gold you have set up." Furious with rage, Nebuchadnezzar summoned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So these men were brought before the king. And Nebuchadnezzar said to them, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the image of gold I have set up? Now when you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music, if you are ready to fall down and worship the image I made, very good. But if you do not worship it, you will be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, "King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your Majesty's hands. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your Majesty, we will not serve your gods and worship the image of gold you have set up." Then Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and his attitude towards them changed. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual, and commanded some of the strongest soldiers in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the blazing furnace. So these men, wearing robes, trousers, turbans, and other clothes, were bound and thrown into the blazing furnace. The king's command was so urgent, and the furnace was so hot that the flames of the fire killed the soldiers who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, firmly tied, fell into the burning furnace. Then King Nebuchadnezzar leaped to his feet in amazement and asked his advisors, "Weren't there 3 men that we tied up and threw into the fire?" They replied, "Certainly, your majesty." He said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound, unharmed, and the fourth looks like the son of the gods." Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the blazing furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come here." So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out the fire, and the satraps, prefects, governors, and royal advisors crowded around them. They saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies, nor was a hair on their heads singed. Their robes were not scorched, and there was no smell of fire on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar said, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted him and defied the king's command, and were willing to give up their lives rather than to serve or worship a God except their own God. Therefore, I decree that the people of any nation or language who say anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to be cut into pieces, and their houses be turned into piles of rubble, for no God can save in this way." Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. I just love this passage. This is one of my favorite passages in the Bible. Like, it's so many of them, but this is one of my favorites. And the first part that stuck out to me was when I think it said one of the Jews had came up to Nebuchadnezzar and told him that they hadn't laid down and worshiped the God, well, the image of gold that was up there. And that stuck out to me because God does not like idols. And I swear, I feel like I say this all the time. He does not like idols. And I know from personal experience, especially because I wrote a book, but I know from personal experience, God does not like idols. It's also one of the 10 Commandments. If you don't know the 10 Commandments, you need to learn them. But one of them is that we shall have no other gods above God. And he does not like that. So I know God was furious watching all those people bow down to this image of gold. Like, are you serious? So that just stuck out to me, because it's like, you want me to bow down to something, and my God say I shouldn't have no gods above him. No, I'm not bowing down. Absolutely not. If that means I gotta go into the furnace, then so be it. So that's how they was coming. And then another part that stuck out to me was on verse 16, where it says, "They replied to King Nebuchadnezzar, 'We do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing fire, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up.'" So I'm going to break it down in the way that I heard it. So the first part, verse 16, they was telling him, like, we don't need to defend ourselves. God is going to do that. Like, we don't need to tell you anything. We don't need to show you anything. We not doing what you asking us to do. We're not going to serve your gods. Our God is the Most High God. There's nothing you can do about that. So that part stuck out to me. And then it says, "But even if he does not," do you know how much faith you have to know, like, you about to be thrown in this furnace and you gonna die? And then for you to be like, "But even if God does not deliver me from this, I'm still not worshiping your gold." Like, do you know how much faith you have to say something like that? And then they were in front of probably so many people that was worshiping this image of gold, and they telling him, like, even if you do throw us in the furnace and God doesn't deliver us, we still gonna worship our God. And that's how God wants us to be. Like, even if we don't get what we desire, even if we don't get the things that we think that we're going to get, even if life doesn't turn out how we want it to turn out, we should still be worshiping God. We should still be faithful to God. We should still be honoring him, because that's what he wants. Like, even if it doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like, still worship God. And that's why, like, I love doing these Bible talks, and I was missing it for the 2 weeks that I missed. But even still, even though I wasn't doing the Bible talks, I still was talking to God. I still was praying. I still was listening to my gospel music. I still was getting in my word. I still was going to Bible study. I still was doing everything that God wanted me to do. I may have fell off doing Bible talks, but even still, God is amazing. Like, even still, even though, like, all right, I thought I would be married by now. Everybody that knows me knows that I thought I would be married by now. And even still that I'm not, I am still worshiping God. And that's where God wants you to be. He wants you to be in that good space with him, whereas though you can be like, all right, well, even if I don't have what I want, I'm still going to worship you. I'm still going to do what you asked me to do, because we want these things, but he wants us to make disciples. He wants us to bring people back to him. He wants us to be images of him. He created us in his likeness. Like, I can go on about that all day, but anyway, that just, like, that really made my heart sing, because it's like, even if he doesn't deliver it, even if he doesn't allow me to get married, even if I do not have any more kids, I'm still going to worship God, because I love him. He has never left me nor forsaken me. He has never, one constant thing that has been in my life is God. So even if I never get whatever my heart desires, I'm still going to worship God. And I just want y'all to know that's how much faith you need to have. Because even if it doesn't look like, or even if you don't get what you want, still worship God. I promise you, it's not going to go in vain. He's going to have something so much better. So, and then the next part, I'm trying to hurry up because I'm already on 11 minutes. But the next part that stuck out to me was when Nebuchadnezzar was like, weren't there 3 men tied up in there? Why do I see 4? And it's just so funny because, like, God came and delivered them. Like, he came and delivered them. He was in the fire with them. He didn't take them out the fire. And that's what a lot of us want. We want God to come and take us out of the situation. God's like, no, I'm not going to take you out. I'm going to be in there with you. I want you to know that I am here with you. Like, he goes before us, he goes behind us, and he's with us. Like, do you know how amazing that is? Like, he is with us in whatever we are going through. And I want all of y'all to realize, like, sometimes it feels like God isn't here. It really does. And this walk is hard. I'm trying to tell you, it's really hard. But God is with us. And this is proof. He said, weren't there 3 men? Like, yes, there were. But God stepped in and was with them in the fire. And they came out not smelling like, not looking like, or anything. So you will go through storms. You will go through trials. You will go through tests. You will go through everything that you don't think that you deserve to go through. But God is with you anyway. He's still with you. And that's why you need that but even if faith. Like, that's all you need. And I'm trying to tell you, you keep going on. You keep doing what you got to do. God is going to help you. He's going to be there with you. He's going to fight for you. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And that's where I'm going to end it, because I just know, like, God is amazing. He's not going to take you out of something that he can develop you in. I heard that last week, I think, and that blessed me, because if he can develop your character, if he can develop you into a greater person, if he can develop you into someone that he can actually use, he's not going to take you out of it. And I'm grateful for everything that he didn't take me out of, because it literally helped me become the person that I am today. And I'm pretty great. So but I hope y'all have a great Thursday. I love reading Daniel 3, and I will see y'all next Tuesday. Bye.